slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't.
Hey team, I wanted to share some long run pace tips with you all. I know I've made a lot of videos on long runs and some of the strategies that you need to be considering to get faster over your chosen event. I've always mentioned in my other videos that I think it's very important not just to run slow and long every single weekend, because you do get in the habit of just becoming a very strong, long, slow distance runner if you do that. And if you're trying to run a specific pace for your chosen event on the roads or on the track, you have to get beyond just running long, slow, and easy, steady running every single weekend. Now, it's still important to do that because you still have to build that endurance. You still have to, build that your overall ability to run for long periods of time and spending that time on your feet. So it's still critical to run slow during your easy runs, but just don't get in the habit of doing it every single weekend. Okay, and that's one of the biggest strategies, I think, looking back, that helped me drop over 21 minutes off of my debut marathon, which was 2:43.36, down to 2:19.35. I went from running, 20 to 24 mile long runs at like 6:45 mile pace to 7:30 mile pace, and doing that from like 2002 to 2007 when I started implementing some faster, very pace long runs into my routine. An example of that might be doing like a 20 miler at under 6 minute mile pace, or running the first 10 miles of a 20 miler at 5:35 mile pace, and then running the last 10 miles at like 5:55 mile pace. So varying up the intensities. And the reason why I'm making this particular video is one of my subscribers left a comment. His name's Caleb. He mentioned, when doing those long, varied pace long runs, is it better to increase rest recovery time between intervals to hit target pace, or stick with planned recovery period if you're off target pace? So when I'm talking about varied pace long runs, I'm not talking about like doing intervals in the middle of your long run. Of course, you could do that if you want, and then stop and take breaks. Especially if you're not very anaerobically fit, that might be a wise decision. Maybe in the middle of a 15 or 16 miler, you do 10 1K intervals, and then giving yourself like 4 minutes of recovery when you're not very anaerobically fit. And then as you get fitter, you're going to be running your intervals at faster paces and giving yourself less rest. But when you're doing long runs, the key thing is just to stay steady throughout your long run. If it's a very paced effort, you're going to be running a few miles or a few kilometers at your anaerobic threshold. You're going to be running a few miles or kilometers at very relaxed, easy pace. Some of those miles or kilometers are going to be at closer to VO2 max effort. Okay, like an example of that for me, when I was living out in Colorado, in Colorado Springs, one of my favorite workouts was to do a 20 miler with every fourth mile of that 20 miler run at under 5 minute mile pace. Okay, so I would be running at like 5:55 to 6:20 mile pace on my regular efforts throughout that run, and then every fourth mile I would go between 4:50 to 5 flat for that fourth mile. So 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and then the 20th mile, I would aim for doing that. Now, of course, those types of efforts I was not doing in the several weeks into my build-up. I would spend usually between about 6 to 8 weeks just running long, slow, and easy, building that endurance out before I started doing those very paced efforts. And a lot of times, and you can change these up. I mean, these long runs, they can be sort of like fartlek sessions, or you can go off of time. If you want to say you want to run for 2 hours, run at a specific intensity for 10 minutes throughout that run. So 10 minutes at 30 seconds slower than goal marathon race pace, or if you're running, you're aiming for a 5K, maybe aim for like 10 minutes at 30 seconds slower than goal 5K race pace, jog for 10 minutes, run at another intensity for 10 minutes, and change that up, okay? And what's great is faster, varied pace long runs can help any athlete, whether you're a middle distance runner or you're a long distance runner. But I think in terms of your question, Caleb, you want to focus on, the long run isn't so much focused on doing intervals in the middle of that long run, okay? It's more so just staying steady at whatever specific pace you're aiming to go after during that long run, okay? One weekend it's going to be nice and relaxed. Just focus on easy mileage throughout that long run. The following week, you can do, say you're doing a 20 miler and do 5 miles easy, 5 miles at 10 seconds faster than goal marathon race pace or goal half marathon race pace or goal 10K race pace. You're changing up the intensity and then going back into 5 miles easy and then running 10 to 15 seconds faster than your goal race pace at your chosen distance for those last 5 miles. Okay, there's so many different variations of how you can run these long runs and structure them to set you up for success. I just don't believe that if you want to be if you're trying to drop substantial time off of your 5K, 10,000 meters, 10-mile race distance, the half marathon, the marathon, these types of events that go more toward the aerobic end of the spectrum, if you're looking more at like the 5K and then the 10K and then more and all the way up to the marathon, and more anaerobic if you're focusing more on, say, like the 400 meter, 800, 15, 3,000, 2-mile distances. Both the aerobic events as well as the anaerobic events, if you're training at faster paces during your long runs and you're sustaining varied paces and you're able to handle that, every 28 days your body adapts to the stress you place on it. Okay, a lot of the world's best distance running coaches state that. They say, and that's why it's very important when you're doing your long runs, Caleb, to just really be patient with yourself and know that if you're having a hard time running 8-minute mile pace for, say, 10 miles right now, you're going to be able to do 20 miles at 8-minute mile pace in about 4 weeks to 8 weeks down the line. Okay, it's just a matter of being very patient with yourself and allowing sufficient time for your body to adapt to what you're throwing at it. And just my own experience, that was the biggest thing that helped me, really, not only for the marathon distance, but I dropped my half marathon time down from 1:13 down to 1:07:06. I dropped my 10-mile time from 55:03 when I was in college down to 50 minutes and 54 seconds. And if you're just running long, slow every single weekend, you're just going to become a very superior long, slow distance runner. It's still very important to stay steady, stay consistent with your long runs. But if you start doing this, if you start implementing some faster efforts throughout that long run, sprinkling it in, you're going to drop some substantial time off of your race distances. It's just more than anything, it's just having that belief in delayed gratification and having more of a long-term vision, because if you want to be a faster middle to long distance runner, the results just don't come quickly. And I hate to say it, I wish I could make it easier for all of you, but what you all are doing in your chosen events is to be respected, but also at the same time know that what you're doing is going to ask a lot out of you. It's going to be a difficult task. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be ebbs and flows throughout your training. There's going to be times where you do not hit the workouts you're aiming for. There's going to be times where you're in races and you just get beat by people you have the capability to outrun. And there's days where you just don't perform at that level that you can. And then there's other days where you feel phenomenal, where you're in that flow state, where you're running effortlessly. It feels that way. And really, it's just that longevity aspect, the matter of like, hey, I'm going to get to my goal no matter what, and no matter how long it takes me to get there. And but yeah, I hope these long run pace tips are helpful for all of you, just to hear from someone who's experienced a lot of the frustrations you all have experienced as well in this sport. And it didn't come easy for me either. Coming from running a 5:30 1,600 meter time as a freshman in high school to running 5:19 mile pace over 26.2 miles, that took many years of consistent work. And so just stay the course, A lot of you have phenomenal capabilities, and a lot of you have the ability to run much faster than I think you realize right now. And it just really comes down to time. So thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. Please like and share them as well. I really appreciate that, so other runners around the world can see these videos. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. And check out the resources below these videos or on RunDreamAchieve.com if you're trying to get to the next level in your training and racing. If you have any other questions or concerns, anything that's on your mind, any topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, feel free to leave me a comment below, and I will definitely respond back to you. So thanks so much, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.